So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be modeling with quadratic equations. And they're not too bad.
We never would have got that.
So we are going to be looking at a parabola, and this parabola contains the points 0, 0, -1, -2, and 1, 6. I want to know what is the equation of this parabola in standard form. So what we're going to do is we're going to make three equations in standard form where we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals y. And we're going to replace each x and y with an xy coordinate from our problem up here. So my first one is 0, 0 right here. I'm going to take my standard form equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals y. And I'm going to plug them in. I'm going to plug in my x and y into this x and y here. So I'm going to go a, and then I'm going to have 0 squared plus b 0 plus c equals my y is 0. And we're going to do this with our other points, because after we do this, we're going to make a matrix and solve it. So we're going to make a big matrix today and solve it. But we're going to use our calculators, so that's going to make it nice. So I plugged in my x and y for my first point into here. I'm going to do the same thing with my second point and make another equation. So I'm going to go a -1 squared plus b -1 plus c equals -2. Oh, and I actually almost forgot. So as we plug these in, though, I forgot to do this. I need to go through and do like my squared part in here. So actually, you know what? We'll do that at the end. I changed my mind. We're gonna do this at the end. So for right now, we're just plugging in x and y. So I got to do this with my third one now. 1, 6. I'm gonna plug 1 in for x, 6 in for y. I'm gonna have a 1 squared plus b 1 plus c, and it's going to equal 6. So I'm going to make a matrix out of these three equations. So I'm going to have a big matrix here. Big matrix. So for my first one, for my matrix, my first column is A, my second column is B, my third column is C, and then the fourth one is all these equal pieces. So remember, we are just plugging in our numbers. So for the first row, I'm going to plug in, for the first part, it's not just 0, but 0 squared, which is just 0, right? That part was kind of easy. Then I'm going to plug in 0 again. And help me out, LMA, what number does the C have that I'm going to plug into my matrix? No, yeah, you're right here, please. What number does this C have that we're going to plug into our matrix? What number is in front of C?
1.
1. So I'm going to plug in 1, and then the very last number is 0. And I'm going to keep going. For my second row, I'm not going to plug in just -1. I'm going to go -1 squared, which is +1. The next number is just -1. Another 1 for C, and then -2. And then my last row, I'm going 1 squared, which is 1. Just regular 1. Third 1, and then 6. Yep. So we have our matrix. We are going to plug it into that website we just looked at. And we're going to use the website to calculate it for us instead of doing it by hand, because that would be a pain. And don't forget, there is 3 rows and 4 columns. So you got to change that around. 3 rows, 4 columns. So give me a second here. Right, here we go. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back a second time. We're going to have 3 rows and 4 columns. And then, just because I can't look at it, actually, no, here we go. We're going to go 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, negative 1, 1, negative 2, 1, 1, 1, 6. And we're going to submit them. And then my final answer is down here at the bottom. Or in other words, so after we plug these in, we submit it, we see that when I have 1A, or excuse me, when I have 1A, A equals 2. Looking at my middle row, when I have 1B, B equals 4. When I'm looking at my last row, when I have 1C, it equals 0. So 2, 4, and 0. So I'm going to go back here to my notes. Sorry, I can't look at them all. So I get A equals, I just forgot what I said.
2, 4, 0.
A equals 2, B equals 4, C equals 0. So we are not quite done yet, but we've done almost all the work. This asks what is the equation of the parabola in standard form. I found out what A, B, and C are. I need to actually put them back into my equation though.
Oh no.
So I got A, B, and C. I need to take this 2 and plug it in for A. I need to take the 4, plug it in for B. I need to take 0, plug it in for C, and then after I do all that, then I'm finally done. So I really have 2x squared plus 4x plus 0 equals y. That is my equation of my parabola that has the points 0, 0, negative 1, negative 2, and 1, 6.
Is that what we do?
Yep.
Is that what we're doing today?
Basically. We're going to add on one more step,
I
but
don't
it won't be
think
too
that basically
tough. We're going to add on one more step. So we're actually going to use the equation we make and plug in the x.
So we're going to have to find it and then the standard quadratic.
Most of what we're doing today is just this, making your standard equation. Alright, so we're going to practice a couple of more of these. So is there anybody still writing this down still?
Still dying.
Okay, I'll just finish. And then we will do another one.
When's there? Oh yeah, next week. Test.
Yeah, I don't think, so we'll have a test next week. I don't think it's going to be over the whole chapter though, just because we don't have enough time. Because we had, Monday we had a bunch of people gone. We had a bunch of people gone on Thursday, so it's kind of
Tuesday.
messing up our
Or
schedule.
Monday. We were going to.
You got it, Elamay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do another example here. I want to find the equation of the parabola that contains the points 0, 0, 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 4. So I need to make my equations for my ax squared plus bx plus c equals y. And remember, we're going to take each one of these pair of points, we're going to plug them into our equation for x and y.
Too many times.
Which one's the C?
0, 0, 1.
There's no c number we're plugging in,
It's in the C.
so it's just going to stay like c.
It's the C.
Where's the C come from?
So when you plug it in the matrix,
It's
it'll be
the
1.
standard
Because
form.
there's 1.
So if there's no number there, it's just 1.
So we're going to make our 3 equations, then we're going to make our matrix, and then we're going to solve our matrix.
0.
So I'm going to go A is going to be 0 squared plus B 0 plus C
1.
equals, I'm plugging in 0 for y,
Negative
for the first one. Then I'm going to keep going through. For my second one, I'm plugging in this point here. I'm going to go A
This one.
1
Negative
squared
1 times negative 1 is 1.
2. Oh yeah, I forgot that.
plus B 1 plus
Second one is
C
negative 1.
equals negative 2. And then my third one, I'm doing this one right here.
1.
I'm going A
Negative 4.
negative 1 squared plus B negative 1 plus C equals negative 4. And that's a negative 1 right there.
Wait. Oh no.
Can you get this down, William?
Yeah, I am halfway there.
Good.
I lied. Completely.
Not good. All right.
Why would you omit one?
Well, because I didn't realize how much you had written on the board.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I've got my equation. I just need to write down my numbers. So keep in mind, as you write down the numbers for your matrix, don't forget the first one is squared. So I have 0 squared, which doesn't really do anything, but
I like it.
it will on our other numbers. 0 squared is 0. My next number is 0. There is a 1 on this C, and it's going to equal 0.
Do we all, we have to use those 3 points?
And I'm keep going through. I'm gonna have 1 squared is 1, and then 1, another 1 for C. C is pretty much always 1 today. So this third column is always gonna be 1. And we got -2.
Go back.
Alright, and then I'm plugging in -1 squared, which is a positive 1. And I get another -1, 1 for C, and it's gonna be -4.
Load faster, please.
Alright, that got us our matrix. We gotta plug it back into that website we were using. And I'm seeing a couple people already do that, so LMA, did you plug this in already? Or is that from the last time?
No, from last
Oh,
time.
okay. Or Maya, did you plug this in already? Or was it the last time?
Would. Goddamn.
Interwebs are not working.
The internet done?
I'm done this.
Wait,
Did we kill their website?
it's not loaded. Yeah, it's
No.
not working.
We killed their website. Too many hits.
Oh.
Alright, well, go back and let's find another website.
What about the second one?
Yeah, let's try the second one.
Now, since all of you left, I will be the only one on the first one.
I'm still the first one.
Alright, let's go to the second one, which is like eMath help.
What? Too many requests and I
Yeah, go to the second one.
I did.
We killed their website.
No, it's on the second one.
Yeah, that's what happened to the second one.
Oh, my
Too
second
many
one works.
requests in a short period of time.
Hit the reload button.
Reload.
So if these don't work, just remember to search for
Still
RREF.
not working.
And they should work.
RREF?
Yeah, RREF calculator. So how many people have at least one of these websites working?
Nope.
My
Okay, I'll, man.
Hey, what's up?
Alright, how about the third one? I haven't used that one. Let's see what this one looks like.
Nope.
Come on, man. What are you about?
What do you
Damn, this sucks.
Oh, here you go.
First one was probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is trash. Too many ads. Look at that.
It's not that
Kiss
bad.
Good ad blocker.
Kiss ups.
Alright, let's not do that one. We can, but it's kind of
The
annoying.
second one's working for me.
Me
Same.
too.
Dang.
The first one's working for me.
I'm gonna take off.
This one,
Take
I
off
don't know
show
which one
steps.
click
I
on.
I don't know. Just pick one. They all basically work the same.
2.
No, that's just somebody asking questions.
See, look at this one. This one's
1, 10.
Yeah, that's a good one. Which one was that?
the R E F. Like that's all it says
What-
in capital letters. Oh, what the? Oh, wait, go to. What the cookie?
I don't know. I just find one that works for you, and they all work
It's
the
just
same way.
RREFcalculator.com.
Yeah.
Go to that.
Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, I went back too many times. There you go. Let's find that one.
Or that,
Oh,
that
cool.
one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That one.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, this is a good one. All right. So we need another column.
We have 3 rows. Oh, 2 rows.
Oh,
Calculate.
sorry.
Calculate.
3 by 4. Create matrix. There we go. All right. Now you can start plugging in your matrix. So that this RREF one works pretty
Too
good.
many requests.
Oh, this one just broke down too.
Dang it, guys! Quit breaking the internet.
Everybody is.
EMH.
But there are like 5 classes around the world doing this.
I was about to get the answer.
All right.
Did I hear this?
Please pay $5 for this answer.
All right. Well, mine works. Find whatever one that works. I'll try to link a few of these in Google Classroom for your homework so you can see.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So on this one, I get A equals -3, B equals 1, C equals 0.
What is this one?
They all work the same way, so just find one that works. So -3, 1, 0.
RE16.
So I plug this in. I get A
Yeah.
equals 3,
Here's the
B
answer.
equals -1, C equals 0.
What the heck? I'm
So-
upset.
We are almost done. We've done most of the work. We just need to write our actual answer.
Oh,
And
this
I'm
is
gonna
a
replace it in there.
fraction?
So
Gross.
3,
I don't know. I don't know.
3x squared. That's a terrible x.
Does that look right?
16.
So we're going to go 3x squared
Four
plus -1x, or you could say minus 1x, that's fine.
Dash 2.
Plus 0 equals 5.
That look right?
Wait.
It'll break. Watch. Reduce.
This is fractions.
So
Gross.
that's
I hate fractions.
Not that bad.
Either decimals or fractions. I don't know which one to pick.
They're not that bad.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Not that bad. They could be worse.
That's
You
true.
could have like
Oh.
a sine or cosine in there. All right. Anybody else still getting this down?
Yes.
Don't
He's
say that.
foreshadowing. He's
You're
We'll
foreshadowing.
get sine,
foreshadowing?
cosine. Don't
Oh
worry.
God.
That's just trigonometry.
Yeah.
I'm fine with cosine.
I
I
found the
Yeah,
answer.
Good.
don't mind that. I did that in pre-calc anyways. So.
What did you say?
Okay, so this.
Some of it last year.
Yeah, we did that too.
3 negative 1
Um,
again. I got -3,
Plus
1, 0.
Good job, Derek.
x
Did I flip my negative and stuff around? Let me check.
plus 7
No.
equals.
Oh yeah, that should be a negative 3.
No.
Just said positive.
So wait, what's, is this
Oh
zero?
yeah, I flipped my
What number
negative
is
around.
this?
My bad.
Let's
Sorry, this
This
was
is
actually -3, a positive 1. So
So the
negative
last
3
one's
and
one.
get rid of your minus there.
The
My
Y?
bad.
Yeah.
You just put Y.
That's a positive 1.
Look at my
Sorry about that. I'm gonna mix it around. No biggie.
I was even looking.
All right,
Looking at the wrong one.
next one. You guys are gonna do one now.
Oh wait, no, I just
No,
did
we're
one.
You guys are gonna do one. So, even though this looks like a story problem, what?
Just finish it.
So, I'm gonna have let's actually just practice finding the parabola here. I want you to find the parabola that goes through these 3 points over here on your own. So you're gonna have to make your equations, then make your matrix, and then plug them into your calculator. So on your own, I want you to find the equation of the parabola that goes through those 3 points.
We don't have to do that.
Okay, Lauren.
We have to do this.
So make your equations, make your matrix, and then plug them into whatever calculator you're using.
Oh, we're working on 2D normal time, military time.
Just for the one problem, but we might skip it. We'll see.
Oh.
Oh, we're waiting.
Just exit ticket.
All right. So on your own,
Oh,
work
we're gonna
on
do that. That's the same.
on this in-class problem. Do it on your own. Then check with your partner. Did you already do the basketball one?
Yeah.
You did it in fraction. I did it in decimal.
Nerds.
You're the one who made me do it.
What?
Something like that. I feel like you're.
How do you know?
So X is always the first one. Y is always the second.
You go do that.
Oh, B.
Let's see. Because remember, this is the equation we're using. So we're going to replace X with the same number.
This is gross.
Yep, plug that. You got it. What you doing, Jason?
Oh.
Trying to take it through
Oh, that's okay. Keep going.
Sir.
I'll be there in a second. Yeah. It's just fractions, which is fine. All you're doing is
this. Watch the waterfall feed you.
Remember when you plugged that first one in?
This is not the place.
That was so.
And this is.
Ooh, what you got there on your phone, Tommy?
Oh, what you doing there, Thomas?
No,
Look at me, right.
Oh,
that's
Smart pocket.
Wow.
What?
For the layer, it's mine.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the latest calculator.
Alright, I'll give you another minute or two. Make your equations, then make your matrix, then plug them in.
I got a fat headache.
You nerd. You nerd.
Go, keep recording.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, we're listening.
Oh yeah, you think that's a
Oh, what?
Does this look right?
Hey, no food in class.
Oh!
Oh.
Does this look right?
Yeah, fractions. Or decimals.
Right, hold on. What is this? That's which one's the row?
The
Pulls out a bag.
that first one. No, 3 and then 4. You gotta go 3.
Which is this it?
I have typed it in.
From yesterday. You said 50. Oh, you took it out.
They didn't catch
Oh,
me.
wait. Restart again?
Go back.
Oh, hey, those aren't locked in there. That's good.
I've never seen something like that.
You need to make like a funny compilation of random only movies.
No, it's too much work. Plus, I don't like hearing myself.
Technology.
We should edit him like if he like say something really bad. I hate Nikki. I always do this.
Show out to Heinrich. This is what Golden John's doing.
When you plug him in, you plug in the first number.
You nerd.
Hey, teacher, should I go?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. I already done.
Yeah, that's because so awesome.
Austin said to me.
That doesn't mean anything. What?
Yeah, make them both.
Are those slippers comfy?
But you got it. All right. So let's look at this.
Yeah.
Let's look at this one.
Whoa, man.
All right, Dazen, since you're standing around there, what's the matrix you get for your final
7.
answer?
22.
No.
The 7's in the answer, by the way.
4, 2, 1, 10.
Okay.
16, 4, 1, 12.
Okay.
100, 10, 1,
7.
12.
Wait, what is this for?
This is just the matrix you plug in. All right. And what did you get for A, B, and C after you solved it?
After I solved it,
Yeah.
negative 1/8, 7/4, and 7.
See, 7 was in it twice.
Okay. So if you got fractions or decimals, that's fine. That's not a big deal because all we're doing is making the equation. We're actually going to skip kind of the second piece of this question, which is fine. So we are almost done, but we got to make our actual equation. Thomas, what's our actual equation now?
You can automatically see that it's not going to pass for the hoop. No,
Short.
way short. It's just going to like
Did
slim.
you plug it in and get these things?
Yeah.
All right. Then remember, we're putting it into ax squared plus bx plus c equals y, right? So instead of having a, what number am I putting in?
22.
1.
That's 1 over 4.
Well, negative 1/8.
25.
That's 7 over 4. Okay. So I'm going to go negative
Jason has a
1/8 x squared plus, what's going to be next, Thomas?
8 over 4. Or 7, whatever that is.
Yep, 7 over 4.
How long was this spreadsheet?
7 over 4x,
Yeah,
and then
same
plus
grade.
what, Thomas?
Wow.
Uh,
Wait, what's the percentage?
7.
Yep.
Oh.
And then it is going to equal y.
What was that, C?
Alright, not bad. So,
That's
we're
the
going to,
answer?
yep,
No.
that's your answer.
Oh,
We were going to use our equation, but I think I'm going to practice just making equations.
Good job.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
I'll give you guys an option. Do you want to do another in class, or do you want to skip to the exit ticket?
Skip to the exit ticket.
We don't know how to do the exit ticket.
Yeah.
Did you not see it?
did
Alright,
you
yeah,
not
good
see it? You're a good
Yeah, what's wrong
kid.
with it?
How do you do that?
You just have a big, you got a whole bunch of points.
Huh?
Just make the equation.
It's so weak.
We have to do
Did
3?
you feel that?
No, do them all.
Oh, God.
Fine, I'll make it easy. Do 3.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Do bottom 3.
I don't get it.
Bottom 3, let's get it.
Alright, to make it a little easier, just so you can practice making these equations. We are find the equation
Oh, you make
for,
the points.
this is a prediction for temperature. Find the equation that predicts the temperature right here. That goes through 89, 85, and 76.
So that's
And
what?
these are times, but
9.
just use them like 3 for the first one, and then 6, and then 9. So your 3 points are going to be 3, 89. You're going to have 6,
85.
85,
976.
and then you're going to have 976.
976.
Thanks for that, Sass.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
6, so that's 36.
That was not.
Alright, so for your exit ticket, find the equation, and then I will have you put your A, B, and C into Socratic.
81, 76. Is that right?
So after you find it, type it into Socrative, and then I will put your homework on Google Classroom.